The future of education is being shaped by rapid advances in technology. From artificial intelligence to new digital tools, these innovations are transforming how knowledge is delivered, experienced, and shared in learning environments worldwide. Our next session, Education 2030, AI and Beyond. Bane or Blessing explores the opportunities and challenges these technologies bring and how they could shape the learning landscape in the years ahead. Please join me in welcoming our speaker. We have Alan L. Krishna, the president of TeamUpCorp, to the stage to lead this next exciting session.
Well, while we wait for the clicker to come, depending on technology, we become slaves to it, and without it, we can't make anything. So these days, when you wake up, if you don't have the monster to hold in your hand, I don't care whom you're married to, what kids you have, what dogs you have, this monster runs our life. So like that, today while I'm here in this distinguished, highly selective audience, this is what's going to keep the ball rolling. So just to introduce myself, I'm Alan Krishnan from the Washington, D.C. area. My passion as a child was to be a teacher. But unfortunately, in high school, my biology teacher inspired me to follow medicine and become a doctor, which I never became. So I have two failed ambitions in life, one being a teacher and then a doctor. But I got along with life. I never worked for anything. Everything dropped in my lap and things have just worked well. And I'm extremely grateful for that. But I still have heavy passion in education, students, and the medical profession. So I'm much involved with them as a driving force, not prostituting my brains to put food on the table. I have other things for that. These are passions that I do for sheer good of society. So education today is not the only thing that requires AI. Without AI, if you do anything, you're from the Paleolithic age, is what people think. And even one of the persons with the greatest vision in our lifetime, Bill Gates, said about a year or two ago that, in 10 years, I think it was in the last year, in 2025, teachers and doctors will be obsolete in 10 years. And I'm wondering, here is somebody I've followed, admired for 30 years, what the world is he talking about? I don't know about all of you here, but I can tell you the only subjects I excelled in throughout my education is when I was in love with the teacher. And okay, I'm not very smart, I understand it, but I'm not stupid to fall in love with the machine. So AI, in my opinion, can never, ever replace a teacher. And if it does, as some people believe it will, you know what? The United States will not be a third world country, will be a fourth world. With everything going on right now, we are already heading well towards becoming a third world country. And it is we, volunteers like me and professionals like you who are in education, have to fight this nonsense and really make it work. So therefore, what does AI bring to the table? Computer-aided design is something I introduced in my manufacturing company in Roanoke, Virginia, about 30 years ago. AI is old wine in new bottle. There's nothing new about it. It's just a new label. Like how they say, things are on the cloud. Yeah, before they called it SaaS, software as a service. So they just keep rebranding, putting new names so everybody makes money, and AI is one of those. However, AI does offer some tools. If it used wisely, it will change education. Now, some of you, I'm sure have heard those in the education field of the Khan Academy, which is very good. But multiple choice assessments have been there for years, for decades, and their impact is not deniable. So what is new now? The high impact AI-driven education is not in the delivery of it. It is in the production of it. I have technology today. Any of you give me any curriculum, any book, I can prepare assessments at 3 levels: easy, middle, and challenging. So all of you are in education know the class has maybe 10, 12, 15% max at the top, the A grade students who get nothing coming to your classes. because the teacher does not have any return on investment. If the teacher does, you're already A and A plus, what more can happen? So the poor child comes to school, gets nothing out of it, gets bored to death, maybe mischievous and distracts the classroom. Then there's at the bottom of the table, you have the students who are in the D and F stage. There's no teacher in the world who can devote enough time out of a class to really help those students. Those poor children are doomed for a life to continue in the cycle of poverty. It's the middle B and C whom the teacher can really cater to and make a difference. And I'm sure every week the teacher is heartbroken that he or she could not help the students at the bottom of the ladder and couldn't really challenge the students at the top of the ladder because the system doesn't permit it. There are some selective schools where they give different math problems to the students based on their ability, so everybody is challenged. And at least the students enjoy it, but that's not easy to do. So now educational content is easily created. Assessments on this AI created content is prepared in hours for an entire year. So AI-driven assessment now takes only minutes to correct because it's done by the system and the teacher just has to review the result. And if there are 20, 30 students who are doing it, you get summarized data on what common errors and that help the teacher prepare in the future to be more impactful. Now I offer this awesome book. Anyone who connects with me, you will have my contact information in the end, and I do have cards, and I also have I'm a sponsor, you'll have a table. It's a book called The Science of Mind Management. It's a phenomenal book for everybody on mindfulness and beyond. I will give you a PDF book of this title for no charge. And I will also send you an assessment so you can test yourselves before reading the book and after reading the book and seeing how it made a difference in your life and your learning. And this is what I can do for your school curriculum. And I'm very determined this will be offered to the students in your system at no charge. The students will get it absolutely free. And if any of the affluent families want to donate, they can make a donation to the school PTSA, which they can use to give teachers school classroom supplies and so on. Because to me, it's the most shameful thing. I'm ashamed to live in the United States, a country I choose to live in, where my teachers are poorly paid, they are overworked, and out of their small salaries, they take money to buy classroom supplies. I think we should hang our heads in shame that this is the state of our teachers. So this is what I'd like to help end. And our AI technology created assessment chapter by chapter in 3 levels of difficulty is what we'll bring to the table. So the students who are at D and F will take the easiest, because my goal is not to make them A-grade students. I just want to rise them 1 level. From F come to D, from D you come to C, and fantastic. And I am positive I'll put money on the table that I will make it happen, and I'll show you how. Long back, I'm encouraged by the success of this book on mind management. I have now created assessments for the full year in physics, biology, mathematics for one of the largest educational systems in the whole world. It's called CBSE, that's in India. It's a Central Board of Secondary Education, which schools in India and many of the other countries, including many countries in the Middle East, follow. And very soon I will have the same curriculum available for the United States, where we have College Board, which is quite a widespread curriculum. So multiple schools here will have that access, and I hope to launch this in the new curriculum year starting August this year, when the new schools reopen and they get started. Oops. Now, once this is done, as I said, we'll have College Board curriculum, we'll prepare that, and that will be available to everyone. And academic year 26-27 will offer these programs. Now, as I said earlier, the teachers can only do so much, and self-learning only takes you that far. Now, lots of people spend boatload of money and go study in MIT, but MIT, in their generosity through Coursera and other schemes, offer all the knowledge for free. And if you want to take a test and get a certificate, $50 a subject exam, you get a test. And therefore, things are available, but you can't really learn unless there is a teacher holding your hand, patting you on the back, and making it happen. And this is particularly true for the students who are weak, not for the geniuses like you are here, who are very self-driven and motivated. So my program is in every single class for every subject. We will take the A grade and B grade students and make clubs, academic clubs of 2 or 3 of them in each group. And they will have the option where other classmates can pick whom they want to join. So I'll have 4 or 5 clubs within the school. We'll call them teams, not necessarily, we'll call them actually teams, where you'll have the AB students and then the CDF students. And every week when the classes are over, the students will take the test, know what, and no teachers involved, completely student driven. Find out what is it they have not understood. This will be circulated to the email address which is set up for the A and B students to watch, monitor, and agree how they are going to help their class fellows learn better. And over the weekend, they will have their own Zoom account which I will set up. 40 minutes, no charge, so there's no financial obligation. They can take the 40 minutes, learn, take a break, eat a fruit, have some drink of water or milk or whatever they want to do, come back and finish. Every subject will have a different group, whatever is constituted by highest performing students. And as part of this program, we will also have gamification. So within the school class, they will have a competition, and eventually I will take this outside their school, and across all the schools in their county or city, we will have that competition. And they will all learn. Now, I switched a little too quick, but AI is no different from dynamite. Alfred Nobel invented it, I believe, 125 years ago. Or he set it up more than 125 years ago. And then I believe in 1901 is when he set up everything. 94% of his wealth he put in to set up the Nobel Prizes in 1901. Without dynamite, the United States will be nowhere close to where it is. Our entire interstate road system was built because of dynamite, which broke mountains, broke everything, and helped to make the construction. And what are we seeing today? Every day I wake up in tears on what the successors of diamond have destroyed in other countries and the lives that have been destroyed. So AI is the same. Accepting the damage it does will happen in our community to our children or our neighbors' children. And we need to unite and prevent that by harnessing the strength and value of AI, which it really can do a lot. So it will revolutionize learning, helping teachers to focus on what only teachers can do. It is only teachers who can inspire students, nobody else. Not the parents, not the siblings, nobody. It's the teacher whom the student respects, falls in love with, and will break his everything to please that teacher. Again, to tell from personal experience, a friend of mine and I went for swimming classes in Roanoke, Virginia, to the local community college. I suck at it. My friend really learned well. And guess what? He got a B grade. I got an A grade. Even I agreed it was not fair. So I said, let's go ask the teacher. Maybe she made a mistake. We asked the teacher. You know what the teacher said? She said, Prasad, you got a B grade for what you achieved. Alan got an A grade for his efforts to what he tried to achieve. The fact he did not achieve doesn't matter. The fact he worked so hard is what matters. That taught me a big lesson 25 years ago. And here was a teacher who was a real good coach. She knew I sucked at it, still had the patience, invested her time to make me make the effort. So I've not given up. I still hope at my age I will learn to swim. And that's because of the inspiration of that teacher. I want to get back a little bit into history. What you see is the first book I wrote. That's why it's numbered 1. And since I published other books, it's a book on postage stamp collecting. I don't know, you're old enough to know what postage stamps are. Some of the new generation will not know. And collecting postage stamps is one of the most educational hobbies. And my entire life is developed on that. I'm a little bit far, but for those of you who can see and who have good eyesight, you see that I'm wearing a tie here. And later on you can see it at close sight. It's a tie which is showing an aeroplane. It's an American stamp. The stamp itself is called the Flying Jenny. It's just a simple aeroplane on a 20-cent stamp. The reason it came up to being on the tie, it is the most valuable stamp in the United States. Because this was done like, 100 years ago. And at that time, you had no fancy multi-skein printing where boom, and you get a colorful poster or whatever. And you'll get it in 25 minutes. No. Those days, they have a printing machine which prints the blue color. Boom, it'll print. Then it'll go to the next where the red color. And then the black color. Now, when the paper was being fed, instead of being fed like this, it got fed like this. As the result, the aeroplane is flying upside down. And that's the inverted Flying Jenny, which is the most valuable stamp. And they got used, most of them got destroyed, but some people salvaged. There are very few of them. I don't know exactly how many, but very few of them available today. And the little motorcycle, can you see it's kind of faded because it's 30 years old, and that's printing technology. As I said, I was publishing books on stamp collecting when I was a high school, but a college student. And obviously I had no money to pay for it. In those days, you had to print 1,000 copies. Not today, order and demand, you can print 25 copies. And where is a student in India in a small town like Mysore going to have? I didn't have the money. This is a motorcycle. It's called Ideal Java. The brand was Yes They. And they made fantastic motorcycles. The managing director was generous. I managed to go meet him and ask, telling him, sir, I want to do this. I want 3,000 rupees, which is roughly about $650, $700 at that time. Can you please help me? He wrote out a check. And the motorcycle, what we said is simple. Beauty is only skin deep. Yes, this is the exception. Great on looks, greater in performance. Ask the man who owns one. This was corporate SD in Mysore, which supported the community in a big way. And I believe even today we can go into our communities, talk to businesses, and get them involved in helping our children learn and change lives. I'm very confident we can do it working together. The same company, my next step was, I published multiple books, so I constantly need money. So I decided, let me go to this shoe factory in Bombay and approach the managing director to give me some money. But I am a student, how am I going to Bombay? Fortunately, I got invited to go to Delhi to be a judge at a philatelic exhibition. And going to Delhi, you pass Bombay and go by. And so I said, okay, I stopped by in Bombay, asked for an appointment. Instead of calling me to his office, he took me to lunch at the most expensive hotel in town, the Taj Hotel. And at that time, we went there and then we met. And before I could say anything, he said, hey, no one is helping children learn from stamps. And I said, okay. I set up India's first customer loyalty program, the Corona Stamp Collectors Club. The first year, we launched it in Karnataka, one state. Second year in South India. Third year, all India. And guess what? Fourth year, we were the largest philatelic club in the world, 26,000 members. No technology, no computers, no email, no Wi-Fi, nothing. So that is what I want to do for education, and I want to bring in gamification.